Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet!
Yeah, Luka Doncic is pretty good at this whole basketball thing, because in the most anticipated game of the NBA season so far, Victor Wembanyama showed his potential, but Luka Doncic showed everyone why he is still one of the very best players in the NBA. I mean, guys, is there something wrong with us that we have become numb to Luka putting up 33, 13, and 10, becoming one of 3 players in NBA history to have a 30-point triple-double in their first game of the season? I mean, it's not exactly surprising that we have become numb to Luka's monster stat lines, considering he became one of 9 players in NBA history to have a 40-point triple-double in the NBA playoffs, doing that in just his second season in the league. Now, it's one thing to be numb to the numbers he puts up. I don't think we'll ever get over just how skilled he is. Just watch this play. There's 2 minutes 20 left in the game. Lively sets the screen. Luka gets Johnson on his back, and from here, he slows down initially to look Collins off with the threat of Lively before recognizing Johnson's momentum and stopping on a dime, drawing the contact while still having the ability to finish through. And there's one part of this play that stands out aside from Luka's craftiness. I showed you how he looked off Zach Collins. Well, he was able to do that because Dereck Lively. And Dereck Lively is going to have a lot of success playing alongside Luka Doncic. A lot.
Dereck Lively with the big finish!
And when I say these two are going to have a lot of success playing together, the stats back up what everyone could see with their own eyes. Because whilst it's only a small sample size, in 23 minutes on the floor together, Luka Doncic and Dereck Lively had a 115 offensive rating, and more impressively, an 81 defensive rating. That's a 34-point differential for what was pretty much half the game, which is because of 2 reasons. You pair nuclear athleticism with someone who is quite literally impossible to guard in the pick and roll, and you get a dangerous combination. And when I say it's impossible to guard him, he's just so big. Pause. This is 6'8" Jeremy Sochan. Lively comes to set the screen. Luka is able to get Sochan on his back, and pause here. With Luka having 1 foot in the paint, Collins has already lost. He can't contest the floater, and he can't get back in time to contest the lob. So Luka chooses the more fun option and throws it up to Lively, who catches his first NBA body. In just 20 minutes together, the chemistry between these two was honestly incredible. Not only that, but for the body language police out there, Luka was actually encouraging his teammates not to argue with the referees this game. Yes, you guys heard me. This might really be a different Luka Doncic. But before we talk about that, let's thank today's sponsor, DraftKings. As you all know, the time has come. After a long, treacherous 4 months, finally, the basketball season is back. And what better way to enjoy the experience than with DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA? And there is absolutely no better time than now to test yourself, because right now, as a new customer, if you download the DraftKings app and use my promo code 6MAN, you'll receive $200 in bonus bets instantly when you spend $5 on any wager. And if you're already signed up for DraftKings, fear not, as all customers can get a no-sweat, same-game parlay if your bet doesn't hit. Max reward limits apply. What more could you ask for? Download DraftKings now and put your NBA knowledge to the test by combining multiple bets together from the same game for a chance to win. So just use my promo code 6MAN to receive $200 in bonus bets when you place $5 on any wager. That's promo code 6MAN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, I already showed you Luka talking to Grant Williams, but the most convincing part of Luka's performance to me was what he did without the ball. There was minimal complaining to the refs, he was consistently getting back in transition on defense, and even at the end of the game, he helped come up with a big stop. Watch here as Sochan curls to the rim. Luka digs before rotating out, and Lively does a great job at contesting Keldon at the rim, not once, but twice, before Luka is smart enough to rob Sochan from behind, getting out in transition, and feeding Kyrie for the bucket. Just in case you want any idea how important this level of engagement is from Luka, at the end of last season, Mavs reporter Tim McMahon said this following a 40-point game from him.
he had a terrible 40-point game today. He spent so much time bickering to the refs. I had a scout the other day tell me Luka Doncic is the worst transition defender in the history of basketball.
Now, it's going to take more than one game to change the narrative, but playing harder on defense and even uplifting Derek Lively on this play, that means more to Dallas than just a 30-point triple-double. Because we all know the skill set is still supreme. Just look as he grabs the rebound, pushes the pace, before then slowing down and then speeding up as he spins past Keldon before then having the touch to drop it in. This is what he does so well. It's his ability to control his body when finishing at angles that is just next level. That's such a difficult shot to hit off glass, moving at speed, but he makes it look so easy. Not to mention the size is just impossible to guard. Once again, Lively sets a screen. This time Collins makes the decision to hang back, so Luka just probes his way all the way to the rim and puts it in. Let me remind you, the player defending him is 6'8", 230-pound defensive-minded Jeremy Sochan, and Luka has him pinned like he's Trae Young, which is in large part due to Derek Lively's presence, which just allows Dallas to maximize what Luka does so well, which is get to the rim. Because of Lively's lob threat, you're left with pretty much an impossible decision: to help up in the pick and roll and risk him passing over your head, or stay back and watch him hit mid-range and floaters galore. There's also a third option, which the Spurs realized probably isn't a viable one. With 2 minutes left in the game and the Mavs trailing by 1, Luka gets to his spot again, and Jeremy Sochan helps off the corner to double. The issue with that play is he helped off Kyrie Irving, one of the greatest shooters of all time. Just think about that for a second. Luka Doncic and Derek Lively were causing the Spurs so many headaches that Sochan thought the only option was to help off one of the greatest shooters ever with 2 minutes left in the game. Not to mention the pass Luka makes is ridiculous as always, and if there's one area of Luka's game that I believe gets taken for granted, it is his passing. Everyone acknowledges he's a great passer, but just on a consistent basis, making dime after dime after dime. This one being my personal favorite from the game, where he has the ball in the post, surrounded by two huge humans. He uses Hardaway as a decoy to keep Wemby at bay, before then opting as though he's about to post up, and at the very last second, after Wemby finally commits, then he hits Hardaway. And just while we are on the topic of his passing ability, he also made one of the greatest passes in basketball history at the World Cup, spraying a behind-the-back pass to the open three-point shooter whilst running a pick and roll. I know it's off topic, but just for anyone who didn't see that pass, you were welcome. There was also one other pass from the game that caught my attention, and it was less about Luka and more about Lively, because watch here as Luka found Lively with the entrance pass, but it was his ability to catch it with one hand and in one motion finish with the other hand that showcased a skill set beyond just catching lobs. It's only one game into the season, but the combination of improved defensive effort and better body language bodes really well for Luka and the Mavs going forward.